G'day everyone, another day, another adventure, and what an adventure this is going to be. This is something different, something I've never done before. I'm going crayfishing from my kayak. Now this is going to come with a few risks, so I've got to be very careful. Right, if you look over here, here's my kayak. There's my life jacket that I'm about to put on. That's a bum bag life jacket that goes around my waist by pfd1.com.au. There's my cray nets. Now, I'm using dog food in stockings for bait. They may look a bit wet, and that's because I tried this yesterday and I didn't catch anything, so now I'm trying again. I went out yesterday, but I wanted to go somewhere small and not so big and not so as much current as what we've got here. I wanted to go somewhere safe and a bit more controlled. So I went to a small creek and I put the nets in. I didn't catch any crayfish, but I did develop a bit of a system and I learned that it can be done. So now I'm going to go and do it. Let's go and catch some crayfish from the kayak. Just before I launch, just a quick tip for anybody wanting to do this. Seal skins. I bought these off Amazon last year. They are a full waterproof sock. I'll put a link in the description below because I've got to get my feet wet. The seal skins will keep my feet up to about here. If you search Robbie Fishing seal skins, you'll see a video that I made about these 12 months ago when I first bought them. I still got them, I still use them, and this is the ideal sort of activity to use them with. Look at that, my feet are in the water, but they're completely dry. Rightio, time to drop the first pot. Now something that I do have to be very careful of here is the length of the ropes on these nets, because I shortened them yesterday for the little creek that I went to, but they might be too short now. So I'm just going to make sure that they're long enough to get to the bottom. Which it isn't. Bugger it. Bugger. Yeah. I think it did get to the bottom, did it? I think it did go all the way to it. I have to paddle over to it. Once they're set, there won't be this much stuffing around, but I'm just going to make sure I've got the length of the string, the length of the cord right. I think that is on the bottom, actually. Yeah, that's on the bottom. Beautiful. Righto, net number 2. How about here somewhere? I'll drop it there and hope to God that I've got enough cord. I reckon that should be enough. I'll be surprised if that's not enough cord. I think that's just at the bottom now, actually. If it's not enough, the Coke bottle will stand upright. No, that's alright. That should turn around. Yep. That tells me that that's on the bottom. Now this net can't be lengthened, so if it doesn't hit the bottom, I'll have to move it. There's about 4 metres of rope there, which is about 12 or 13 feet. So being that this is a deep hole and the river's quite high, that may not hit the bottom. Come on, come on, come on. Nope, look at that. That tells me that's not on the bottom. What about here? Is it deep enough here? I threw the wrong float in. Surely that's got to be deep enough, doesn't it? There you go, that's deep enough. Right, now net number 4, I'm going to put that here and hope that it's deep enough. This is the one that was too short down in that other hole. I'm on a bit of a sandbar here. I would prefer to be over under that clay bank over there, but this net's just not long enough. The first two nets are. They can be extended, but the second two nets that I put in can't be extended. Hasn't hit the bottom yet. Will the float stand upright? Because if it does, that means it's hit the bottom. Beautiful. I prefer to cray at the bottom of clay banks like that, but when your nets aren't long enough, you've got to make do with what you got. All right, 11:42. I'm not going to check them till at least 12:42. 1:45 I'll come and check them. Rightio, time to check them. It was 11:42, it's 12:35, so it'll be about 12:40 by the time I get out there and check the net. I've got a bucket so that if I catch a crayfish I can put it in. I've got a tape measure so I can measure it to see if it's legal. A knife here if I need it. I've just got to be a bit careful. I've got my phone in my top pocket. I don't want that to fall out. Life jacket on and away we go. Right now, here is net 1. Even if there's nothing in this net, I'll be leaving it where it is because it's going to take too long to find a spot that's the right depth. I don't like crayfishing on sandbars too much. I'd rather be on the other side of the river. But anyway, if I do catch any, getting them out of the net's going to be a work of art. It feels pretty light, I've got to be honest. Oh look, I've caught one. I've caught my first crayfish from a kayak. Well, there we have it. It's got no eggs. I think it's going to be too small though. Look at that folks, my first ever kayak crayfish. How good is that? Right now I'll get a measurement. I actually went into Bunnings the other day and bought a new tape measure. One that actually goes from... he's about 9. He's got to be 10 centimetres from his eye to his tail. He's about 9, but I'm off to a great start with a crayfish in my very first net. That's my first ever crayfish from a kayak. That is cool. That is real cool. I've got a bit of a plan here. I've got my wife Loretta with me and I'm developing a system. When I put the nets in, I had it like buggery to get upstream against the current. So now what I'm going to do is check the nets, make my way downstream. Then when I get to the bottom net, I've only got 4 nets in, I'll put the kayak up on the roof of the car and then drive back to the top before I check them again. That way I can just continually paddle downstream all day. One thing you do need to be very careful of when you're crayfishing from a kayak, when you pull the rope up, you're putting a lot of pressure on one side of the kayak. You just got to be careful you don't tip yourself out, if you know what I mean. Because that would never be fun. Oh, nothing. It's empty. This is the net that's probably the one that I'm least expecting to catch a crayfish in, but I simply can't move it into a better spot because the rope's too short. Rightio. Netio. Is it heavy? What's the call? Is it heavy? Is it heavy? Not really. Might be one small one, that's the call. No, there's nothing. It's got a really big heavy bait. That's why it's so heavy. I'll just go up there a little bit. Just move up a bit. There we go, net. See, mate. Back in the drink. I reckon there'll be 2 crays in this net if it's not snagged. I'm going for the daily double. It feels pretty heavy. Might be something in it. Doesn't feel super heavy though. Nothing. Oh yeah. It's noodle time. Look at that, I just fogged up the lens of my GoPro. Loretta is having prawn and chicken, and I'm having curried prawn, but the thing about it is, Loretta doesn't like prawns. So she's just got the curry. She's just got the powder, the chicken flavour, and I've got 2 lots of prawns and curry. So I am coming out the winner. With a belly full of noodles, it's time to check the nets. And this is the only net that actually caught anything before. 4 nets, and this is the one, this was probably the second worst. The one that I rated second most unlikely to catch a crayfish, and it was the only one that actually caught a crayfish. Has it caught me another one? Yes, and a bigger one too. Now, I could very well have a legal crayfish on my hands here. You ripper! Don't you dare bite my leg. Righto folks, I may have a legal cray. I think he's still going to be a bit small, but I'm going to measure him. The other one was 90 and I reckon this one's a little bit bigger. Now people have been asking me if I can do a catch and cook. If I can catch a legal crayfish, I will keep it and I'll cook it, and I'll show you how to cook it. This one is, if I go from there, smack bang on 100. He's smack bang on 100, this one here. Well, that is legal. He's probably, look, I'll throw him in the bucket for now. I want to do that anyway because I want to test the bucket system. I want to, because one thing I have been wondering is if I catch a cray, how am I going to put it in the bucket? Right, so I've got my cray in the bucket. I've kept my first cray, he's right on the legal size. Now I've just got to try and upsize. I only want to keep one, I don't want to keep heaps of crayfish. If I can catch one that's more comfortably legal, I'm going to put that one back. Right, yeah, now this is the net that I've got the least expectations. You know, I think this is the worst one of the 4. I've got 4 nets in on it. Yeah, I just think this one's going to struggle to catch a crayfish in its current position. But anyway, yeah, still no crays. Oh well, that can stay there. Righto, this is the net that I've got the highest expectations for, and I never actually caught any crayfish last time. It could be because I am using old food too. I baited these up for a mission yesterday, an unsuccessful mission yesterday. So maybe fresh bait might help. Doesn't feel very heavy. And that's why, because there's nothing in it. How relaxing is this? Look at the beautiful big sea eagle. Wow, it's huge. He's just landed on that tree over there. I can still see him from here. He's absolutely beautiful. There's water back in all the swamps and the lagoons down here. I imagine that's what's brought the sea eagle down. The cockies don't like him. Oh boy, you probably can't see him, but there's a beautiful big sea eagle up there. I've got a good feeling about this net. Did before too, I didn't have any in it. But despite that, I've still got a good feeling about this net. Oh, it's got to have something in it. It feels heavy. Feels heavy. It's got 2. It's got 2. It's got 2. It's got none. It has been a carbon copy of my my last run. One nice cray in the first net and then nothing afterwards. I'm blaming the bait. I reckon maybe I should have put fresh bait in instead of running with yesterday's bait. Rightio folks, I've been around the nets twice. I've only caught 2, so the crayfishing itself's been a bit slow, but it's been absolutely hugely successful in the sense that I've discovered a new way to go crayfishing. Crayfishing from a kayak. I had wondered whether it could be done or not, and I've developed a system. Now I'm going to measure this crayfish now. It's right on 10 centimetres. I just want to make double sure that it's okay before I keep it, just in case it's under. Right, now here's my crayfish. I'll put him down here. You'll notice he's missing, or he's got a second claw, but it's a lot smaller. I still reckon it would hurt. Now, he's got to be 10 from the back of his eye to the back of his carapace. He's got to be between 10 centimetres and 12 centimetres. Now if I put that there, Oh, I reckon he's right on 10. He might even be 99. Yeah, look, he's too close. I think he is right on 10. The 10 centimetre mark goes to there. So I'm not sure. Yeah, look, I'm not sure. And I think that if you're not sure, the best thing you can do is give it another season in the water and try and find a bigger one. Can I have the camera, please? Camera lady. Feels so bizarre walking out into the water in the middle of winter. Mate, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because you're just too close. Look at that, I just saw a sea eagle, now I've found a koala. There's a very healthy population of koalas down here. Beautiful animals. Rightio folks, it's time for the third and final check of the nets. Ugh. I'm in. Look at the mud on my paddle from where I pushed myself off. Righto, it's 20 past 3. These nets have had close to an hour and a half. This is the only net that's caught any crayfish so far, and it's caught 2. And it was a net that I wasn't really expecting to catch much. Can it catch me a third cray for the day? I'm leaving the nets in this time. Feels heavy, I reckon there's something in it again. I bet I'm just not used to the weight. Oh yes, it's got 2. I've got to be a bit careful, I don't want my leg to get bitten. I know that one's too small. If that one's got no eggs, then that's my legal cray. Now I do want, it's got no eggs. There's my legal cray. I'm backing it in to be legal. Isn't it amazing how the only crayfish today have all come out of the one net? Now these are both going to hurt if they bite me, but this one's going to hurt more. Now, I'll give him a real quick measure. Then I'll throw in the bucket over my shoulder. Oh yeah, he's nearly 11. He's perfect. Alright folks, I'm going to take this home because so many people are asking me if I can make a video and show people how to cook crayfish. So I'm going to do it with that one. Righto folks, that's a little one. That one goes back. That's a big one. This one goes back, over my back, into the bucket. I've got a legal cray. I'm going to take him home and keep your eye out soon for a video coming up called How to Cook Crayfish. Now I'm not going to worry about taking the bait out of the nets just now. That's a job for when I get back to the bank. What I'll do, I'll roll them up. I'll sit them all up the front of the net, up the front of the kayak like that. Then I'll do it when I'm out of the kayak and it's a bit easier. Geez, Loretta annoys me. I tell her I'm keeping a crayfish and she says, poor crayfish. It makes me feel bad. It makes me feel guilty. So I said to her, don't start that. Not feeling any heavier than any other time I've checked it. And it's not catching any more crayfish than any other time I've checked it. I spoke to my old man earlier. I rang him up and asked if he could pick up the kids from school because we're going to be running a bit late. And he said, if you keep me a crayfish. So if I catch a second legal one, I might keep it for the old man, but it's not in this net because it just doesn't feel heavy at all. I can't believe this net has not caught a single cray today. Oh yes it has, look. Ah, he's hanging upside down. I think he's undersized. There was nothing in the net. I said there's nothing in it, and then I pulled it up and he's hanging underneath. Mate, you're in a hell of a mess. How am I going to untangle you without getting my fingers eaten off? Right, all you've got to do is let go now. He's got no eggs, but I reckon he's going to be undersized. Sorry, Dad. He is, yeah, he's 90. He's about 88 actually, he's quite undersized. Well, there you go, folks. The net that I expected to catch crays caught crays, but it's a little bit undersized. See you later, buddy. Love watching them sink under the water like that. Well, there you go. Finally caught a cray in one of the other nets. The temperature is already dropping. It's 3:30 and you can already feel it cooling down. It's going to be a bitterly cold frost here tonight. Now while I'm paddling downstream, I just want to speak about a couple of things. Kayak crayfishing, it's fun, it's great fun. I've developed a system and I'm having a blast. But it's very, very important that I let you all know that it's also very dangerous. This water is icy cold, meaning if I fall out, I could quickly develop hypothermia and end up dying. There is absolutely no margin for error. I wouldn't suggest kayak crayfishing to a novice kayaker, someone that hasn't got a lot of experience, and I wouldn't suggest it to somebody that feels the cold, because it's a cool day, the water's cold, and if I tip out, I'm going to be in a hell of a mess. So I've had great fun today. It's been an absolute blast, but I really have to drive the message home to you all. If you decide you want to go on an adventure like this, then please exercise the maximum amount of caution. Please, I've got my life jacket on around my waist. Just exercise caution and make sure that you can get home to your family, because no crayfish is worth dying over. Rightio, my final pull, the final check. And this net I actually thought would do well, and it hasn't done any good all day either, which has surprised me a bit. I've missed it. It's not like a boat where you can just sort of reach out and grab it. You can't do that in a kayak. There we go, got it now. It's going to be 3 in this. Yeah, there's something in it. There's got to be. It feels very heavy. Either I'm just going insane and losing my marbles, because it certainly feels like there's something in it. Oh, is there something in it or what? Have a look at that. This'll have eggs. It's just about a given. These really big kahunas have nearly always got eggs. And a big kahuna that is. If it hasn't, there's a chance that it might be oversized. It hasn't got eggs. It hasn't got eggs. Please don't be oversized. Look at that beautiful big male crayfish. Wow. I will do the right thing. If it's oversized, it'll go back. It is. No, it's not over. You beauty. 115. Look at that, 11.5 centimetres exactly from the back of its carapace. That's about the best crayfish you'll get. That's not oversized. That's not undersized. It's got no eggs. It is an absolute ripper. And that's going to my dad, because he put in a request before I come out today. Look at that. Absolute ripper. Oh. I haven't caught a cray yet. I kept a cray yet this season. I've caught quite a lot of legal size ones that I've thrown back voluntarily. But today I've decided I want to keep one to make a video on how to cook crayfish. And I'm going to keep one for my daddy. The old man's 70 soon, and he loves a feed of crayfish. Rightio folks, I'm just about to get out and go home. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've liked this video. If you have, why not give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. And just remember folks, if you want to go crayfishing in winter from a kayak, please be careful.